You already know who it is, man. It's your boy Underrated Mage. Today I'll be doing a video discussing top 7 greatest fairy tale villains. Now this is going to be a list of my favorite villains in the series of fairy tale. Now this list might be a little bit controversial because there are some characters up here that some people like and there are some characters that some people don't like up here. And yeah, there's some characters who did turn good. Well, there's some characters who did turn good on this list, but I'm going to be talking about them when they were a villain specifically, and I won't be counting like obviously when they're good. I'm going to talk about what they did when they're a villain. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now coming in at number 7 is Jose, and Jose, he was the leader of the Phantom Lord. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, okay, why is he up here on this list? Me personally, the reason why he's up here is because everything he demonstrated, he was a very good first villain. And I'm talking about like a final boss type stuff for a first villain, because the first time we really seen him was during the Fairy Tale versus the Phantom Lord arc, and that arc was crazy. That arc was insane. But I liked Jose in this arc because he just seemed like the evil guy, and I liked the little bit of friction that him and Makarov had prior to this. You know what I'm saying? We know that Jose, for a while, he despised Fairy Tale. He didn't like it, and we got to see Jose go up against Makarov. I like that they didn't really like each other from the start, and even though he did get skunked by Makarov, yeah, he wasn't really like demonstrating like his power, but he did get this shine for a little bit, and he really did make it seem like that things were going to be hopeless for Fairy Tale. We even brought out Jupiter, everything. Like Jose, me personally, I believe that as for somebody who was a beginning villain, I think that he did a great job, and a lot of people, they might sleep on him, but me personally, I'm always going to have him as one of my favorite villains, simply because he was one of the first villains and I enjoyed his character, and I think that he did a great job at being a first villain for a long running series. Now the next character on this list, coming in at number 6, is God Geo. Yes, we're keeping this in the Phantom Lord, and God Geo's introduction, he was amazing. I mean, we seen him, he was beating up Lucy, he did not care. We found out he was a dragon slayer, and the most iconic, or one of the most iconic scenes in Fairy Tale is him crucifying Levi. Now that was on some straight up raw stuff. When I seen that, I was like, okay, this guy is a monster. He is insane. And seeing his battle against Natsu, that was dope. That was basically like the Goku versus Vegeta of the series. I mean, we got to see two Dragon Slayers go at it. Gajio, he pushed Natsu to the edge. I mean, that was just a really dope and amazing moment. And not to mention the fact that evil Gajio, he just had like a savage tone to him, you know what I'm saying? He was just very savage, and I liked everything that he was doing. Now, obviously, we know Gajio ended up turning good, and even then, Gajio's still one of my favorite characters, even though he turned good. But the evil Gajio, he was not something to mess with. He had all the clout within his guild, and he was definitely a savage. Anything that Jose asked him to do that involved hurting people, he was like, all right, sign me up, I'll go do it. So yeah, that's why I got Gajio coming again number 6. Even though he did turn good, I still do like that evil savage Gajio. Coming in at number 5 is Future Rogue, and this one is a very controversial character, and not because he's a villain or anything, but mainly because a lot of people, they hate the Grand Magic Games arc. Me personally, I don't really see a problem with the Grand Magic Games arc. I mean, I'm gonna do a video discussing why the Grand Magic Games arc isn't as bad as people think it is, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. But the reason why I have Future Rogue up here is because he was insane. I mean, for a villain, he was insane. I like the whole mystery of the guy being in the shadows. You know, for a long time, we didn't really know what was going on. And not to mention the fact we had Future Lucy come. She was trying to save them all, and he was one of the villains who actually killed somebody. Yes, he killed off Future Lucy, and not to mention the fact that he actually was summoning dragons to make them work for him. Like, Future Rogue, he was dope. He was an OG. Like, he was doing everything. He killed characters, or a character, and he was making dragons work for him. Like, yo, Future Rogue is highly underrated to me. A lot of people, they don't like him just due to the fact about who he is, but me personally, I definitely gotta say that Future Rogue, he is definitely one of my favorite villains in the series. And even though the Grand Magic Games arc is hated, that still doesn't change the fact that for me personally, Future Rogue, he was dope. And not to mention the fact that he even like had to kill his best friend to take his power. Like, just the story, the lore behind Future Rogue is just amazing too. So yeah, coming in at number 5, I gotta put Future Rogue up there. Coming in at number 4 is God Serena. Now, anime only, you guys don't know who God Serena is, so I'm not going to spoil too much for him. He's a manga only character, but basically, God Serena, he is a member of the Spriggan 12. Yes, he's a member of the Spriggan 12, Spriggan 12. I don't know how you pronounce it, but basically, we see that he was hyped up to be one of the strongest members of the Spriggan 12. If you guys don't know what the Spriggan 12 is, it's basically like the final group of villains that work underneath Zeref, and we found out God Serena is actually one of the members. And one of the things that makes it so dope is that he was a good guy, or at least we thought he was a good guy, because we found out he was the #1 ranked wizard in Fior. Like, out of the 10 wizard saints, we never got to see the #1. It turns out that God Serena was the #1, and not to mention the fact that he did take on all the wizard saints, well, at least the top 5 wizard saints. We saw him take them on and everything, and even up until his final moments with the whole him fighting a certain character, you know what I'm saying, I enjoyed every second to him. But it's not even the fact that he's a villain, you know what I'm saying. The main reason why I like him is his personality, like the whole goofy, outgoing personality, and his abilities. Like, everything about him is just dope. Listen, I can't wait to see him get animated. That is going to be some of the best moments, period, when we get to see God Serena get animated. I'm going to be going crazy, because that is just going to be hype. I'm going to love everything about that. So yeah, God Serena coming in at number 4 for my 4th favorite villain. Coming in at number 3 is Hades. Now, Hades, me personally, I originally had him at number 1, but you know, after thinking about it, I had to bump him down a couple slots. But Hades is one of my favorite characters, period. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite characters in the series, period. And the main reason I like him is because the story, like finding out he's one of the first members of Fairy Tail, finding out that he trained with Mavis, you know, Yuri, and even the plant guy, Urid, Warrid, you know what I'm saying? We got to see all that stuff. And not to mention the fact that he really did not play in his arc on the Tenro Island. Me personally, that's my favorite arc in the series, and he did not play any games. We saw that he was taking people out. You know, we saw that he basically skunked Makarov, and I really do like the little relationship between him and Makarov. You know, just telling he was the one that basically gave Makarov his title. Then we come to find out he's fighting his student. You know, that's just dope, just thinking about that. So Hades, yeah, he is definitely one of my favorite characters in the series, and I got him at number 3 on this list. I mean, I wish we got to see more of him. Well, we do get to see more of him, but I'm not going to spoil too much. But all I'm going to say is that Hades, him as a character is just dope. And not to mention his name is Hades. Like, come on, if your name is Hades, you know that you're going to be impressive. Coming in at number 2 is Acnologia. Now, Acnologia, he is one of those characters that whenever you see him, it's just hype. Like, whenever he's on the screen or on the chapter, he is just hype. I mean, what can't you like about Acnologia? I mean, first off, we've seen him take out Makarov, like, easily. Makarov tried to hold him back. He was like, nah, that's not happening. He ended up suplexing him and taking him down. And then we get to see him go up against Enil, and probably, no, not even probably, the most saddest death in Fairy Tail came from Acnologia. We saw he ended up killing off Enil, all that stuff, not to end up crying, not to sword to defeat him, and all that stuff. And even the stuff that he did in the manga. I ain't gonna spoil too much, but let's just say that his killing spree does not end there, and does not end in the anime. He goes crazy again in the manga, and up until Acnologia actually gets defeated, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna do another video about how I feel about Acnologia him getting defeated and all that stuff. But yeah, we get to see Acnologia. He was the real deal. He actually felt like a true threat for a villain when it came to like power standpoint. So that's why I got Acnologia at number 2. Now, coming in at number 1, a no-brainer, my favorite character in the series, Zeref. Now, Zeref, I gotta say, but I like what Hiro Mashima did with Zeref and Acnologia. You know, with Acnologia, it felt like that he was a villain when it came in terms of like action. Like, that was his main role. You know, he was the big bad guy. He was the bad guy when it came to the action. But Zeref, he was the bad guy when it came to like the story-wise, if that makes any sense. Because really, everything that happened in Fairy Tail was because of Zeref. You know, all the conflicts and stuff, if you think about it, because all the Dark Guilds, they basically want to revive Zeref and, you know, bring him back and all that stuff. So we were getting getting little imprints and hints of Zeref there, here, there, here and there, here and there. But then once he finally got revealed, it was a whole nother story. I mean, we seen him on Tenro Island killing off Hades, you know, all that stuff. Zeref, he is definitely by far, to me personally, the greatest villain in this series. And I mean, even in the final arc, you guys are gonna see Zeref puts in work. He just goes crazy. He goes insane, man. And yeah, I just like his character too. Like, his character is deep, complex, you know, the whole curse of Ank'Sram, all that stuff. So yeah, overall, that's what we see for this little list. Who is in your top 7 for villains? Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.